I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. SEC and its policies rely on whatever Gary thinks. Bitcoin to flight to quality. I heard that from Larry Fink. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish out there. It's not our fault. Blame the coal. It's the political cowards. When it comes to gas, our purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin pumping, altcoins pumping. I've been preparing for this. Can't tell me nothing.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight.
I believe it's time to dive into these charts. Bitcoin setting up for the next leg to the upside. Is it going to be 117K? Is it going to be 164? Is it going to be 204? Is it going to be 242K? Well, let's hold our horses. Let's look at the chart, see what the signals say. But altcoins also starting to wake up a bit, seeing some pumpage. What are we doing about it? Everybody, let's get into this. Make sure you're retweeting, hitting that like button, hit that subscribe, ding the bell. Hope you're all well. I want to see everybody getting live and active in the live chat right now, whether you're watching on Rumble, on YouTube, on X. Get active in this live chat. I can see it. I want to see what is your target at the end of this month, the last day, May 31st. What is your target on the charts? Or is it May 30th? I don't even know if there's 31 days in May, but let me know your target at the end of the month and let's get into it. Let's look at what the charts say. Let's go. Bitcoin is absolutely rocking the markets. We're seeing that movement to the upside, and I've been calling this out all the way, I mean, this whole last year, but also on that move down to $74,000. I called it absolutely perfectly, looking at the data, not the excitement or the fear or the hope on the Bitcoin price, but looking at the data, not only the price structure retesting a previous high, but also the VIX spike, the massive signal that we are likely going to see a pretty strong reversal, and what we could look for into, going into May, going into the summer. So many people were talking about sell in May and walk away. And I was over here saying, sell in May? Shit, I'm stacking into May so profits can come my way. I hope you were too, because we're seeing over the last month, what do we see? This is what we're looking at from April 22nd to now. This 1 month, green across the boards, minus two small ones here. Okay, PAX G as well. That's all good. But we're seeing green across the board here in the crypto market. But when we're looking at what's going on in Bitcoin, Bitcoin came right into a known zone. What zone is it that you're talking about? Let's zoom out here and see what I'm talking about. We have this large parallel channel that we have from the previous all-time high back here in 2017. Moved up right here to support. And now parallel channels here. We have this high here, also rejection here, also support here. And then of course we have these highs projected out. All these just basically spider lines projecting out into the future of where potential price action interaction could be. And if you look at this, I mean, look at these levels from the 2017 spider line, also acted as resistance here, also acted as support here. And then this same line here, right in the middle of this channel, a lot of just interactivity around this also proved to be roughly about where the candle bodies found their close here, support level, also resistance here. And then of course, the last two previous all-time highs, 64, 69,000 projected out. And you can see this has been an area of, some deviations, but some pretty heavy resistance. And then what do we see here? We have the previous all-time high horizontal price action coming across the diagonal rising level of previous resistance sliced through this zone. I had it marked out here as an area of interest, and it kind of front ran where this price action came up into it. But for the most part, this has been overwhelmingly spot on. So when we get down into the 4-hour chart, we realize, well, what's the next signal we can see in the very near term? Well, currently we see a bull flag right here, very beautiful bull flag Beautiful bull flag indeed. What do we see? The target out of this bull flag takes us up to about $117,000. Do you think that we're going to hit $117,000 by the end of May, maybe while we're at the Bitcoin conference? Or do you think we're going to get another one of these frustrating bull trap deviations, which I think will only be near term anyway, if that were to happen, and get a potential bit of a rejection back down here into the 108s? Can you believe that? A rejection down to 108,000? That's just amazing. Or potentially even a little bit deeper down here to 105 or 101. Where do you think price is going into the end of this month? I think regardless of what happens here in the next 9-10 days, I think that we're going to have a fairly bullish summer. Even if this bullishness just means price action pushing up and we range sideways for a little bit throughout the summer before we move up, going into the 130s, 150s and beyond. What we're seeing right now is nothing short of spectacular. In fact, when you look at Bitcoin and you realize we are coming right up into a zone, and I actually shared this yesterday, I've shared this over the last few weeks. We're coming right into this Megapump gateway above $110,000. Regionally, we're still in this level. We're still trapped in this gateway. We're waiting for a little bit of small shakeouts, bullish confidence come in and to demolish that liquidity that is sitting directly above us. But when you look at this on the 1-week chart, there's not a hell of a lot of liquidity above us. However, if you zoom in on the 12-hour chart, what do we see? Liquidity right above us, liquidity right below us. If you don't understand what this chart is, this is a liquidation heat map. People that are trading on derivatives, on options, where you leverage essentially, to where if these people are going short, if people are shorting, betting on the price action to go down, this is their perceived liquidation levels in the chart. AKA, if the price moves up into these zones, those shorts are forced to close, which is a forced buy of that size. So this is why you see these basically short squeezes. Once the price action gets pushed up into those liquidation levels of shorts, they're forced to close, AKA forced to buy. And you see fairly quick movements to the upside when that happens. In fact, I shared a chart on that yesterday. Let me go ahead and pull that up. That is this anatomy of a short squeeze. And this is what I'm talking about. See this large yellow band, a lot of, people coming in shorting at all these different levels with different, 2x, 5x, 15x, so on and so forth. And you start getting these bands here where there's a lot of free liquidity in the chart. So what did we see? We saw the price action dip into it. What happened right when it dipped into it? Quick move up. Forced closes are buys on shorts. A forced close on a long is a sell. So if these are above, these are short liquidations. And where we see quick pop up, and there was no continued buyers there because these were forced buys. Price action came down a little bit. But what do you notice about this price? 110. This does not mean, okay, short squeeze, it pushed up, came back down. It doesn't mean the move's over. It just means that that liquidity got cleared out. You need to reset with some buyers to come in, and then you can move that, have that continued move of healthy bullish buying pressure to the upside. Because when we're looking at this on the chart, we do see, look, we're at $111,343. So let's go to the 15-minute chart. I also showed this yesterday just as a cautionary. I shared this on my wall. We did have a bit of a rising wedge here, which suggested we'd have a little bit of a bearish breakout at some point. But what has been the predominant action in all the charts we've seen over the last 6 or 8 months? When you have a chart like this, or a pattern that historically shows that you have a very strong likelihood of a move to the downside, although that's the case, and this did dominate coming down, what did you see before that move happened? You had a fake out to the upside, deviation, bull trap, came back down. Now we had that break to the downside. Now this is very bullish in the case that the breakdown here isn't really all that bad. All it did was deviation up, came back down, and it's been holding. If this were to break down, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but this 109, 109.5, 110 level is absolutely beautiful. If that's the bullish test, AKA the bullish breakout of that 109, 110 level, if it comes down and finds this area as support before liftoff, that would be magnificent. Maybe it doesn't even come down and test that. But the point, the dominant trend here is what? The trend is your friend until the end. The dominant trend here all the way since back here in December of 2022. And I have the very key levels marked out here. The FTX that marked the bottom. Consolidation here. The ETF speculation. It got approved. Went live. Oh, sell off only to launch. Then we had the market breakdown. And we had the Japanese yen carry trade fiasco where we had a bit of fear in the market sell off. proved to be a bottom right on this previous range high here. And then we had Trump elected, hope back in the market, new crypto-focused administration, pumped up. We ended up having the top here on Inauguration Day, which was essentially the speculation. Okay, let's get a little bit of a sell-off. It came, even if you didn't know any of these news points, the chart itself has been giving you this map. And the dominant trend right now is what? Up and to the right. We can make that bright mother green because this is the dominant trend. Now, the problem with this dominant macro trend is that although the macro trend is bullish, people look at this and go, okay, dominant trend is bullish. And then they come down here on a 7-minute chart and go, well, you said the trend is your friend. Why is it breaking down? Well, first off, this isn't a breakdown. This is deviations, chopping people out in both directions. So let's be a little bit cautious. We're going to go back. We're going to dive into some TA on a couple other coins here in just a little. Look at that, $111,333. I love this, having this behind me now. We can see it. But we're going to come back and do some TA on Bitcoin. We got to talk a little bit about SUI. I know you've probably seen some news around that. I'm going to give some brief thoughts on that and some other major things that have gone on. We're going to come back, look at TA. I want to see every single one of you drop 2 coins in the live chat right now. If you're watching later, comment below the video. Drop some coins in there, what you're interested in, what you're doing. Maybe some of you are super smart and the only thing that you're holding is Bitcoin. That would be awesome. But I know a lot of us are degens as well. We're trying to play some proxy plays and stack more Bitcoin as well, which is a fool's errand, but all of us are doing it. And if we do it with good strategy and eliminate as much emotion as possible, you just might stand a chance to stack up some Bitcoin from those moves. Now, looking at what's going on here in the market. By the way, everybody, we're at 63% Bitcoin dominance. Let's go ahead and refresh this just to make sure it is clear. I mean, $3.5 trillion. Not so long ago, I'm talking like about a month ago, maybe a little over a month ago, this was down in the 2.5 trillion. We've gone up $1 trillion in market capitalization. $1 trillion in how much money is in the crypto ecosystem in the last month. And this is only just the beginning. So you need to make sure you're paying attention and not chopping yourself out with emotional hope, fear, sideways action. Let's make sure we are locked in because this is about to get super exciting and a lot of people are going to make a lot of money. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to lose everything. And it's all about what you're doing in this market, how you're doing it, what communities you're participating in to get various forms of information, figure out what works for you so that you can lock in being an incredible ancestor for your future. That's what you want to do right now is make sure you can use the best opportunity of a multi-millennia time frame. I mean, this is a reinstituting not only money, but culture, but store value, but transaction, but this, the rails of technology and money is, we're in the middle of this transition. So let's take advantage of it. I see we got Arc Block in here from Will Carter. We got Curve, Link, GFI. I haven't heard that one in a while. Is that Goldfinch? I think that is. Velodrome. We got Mudang, Arrow, Dog, and Bitcoin. We'll talk about some Dog today because some major developments happening there. Also on the price action. ETH, Sol. I see a lot of y'all's coins. I'm going to keep this there, and we're going to come back to that. So keep active here. We're going to dive into the TA here in just a couple of minutes. But David Bailey, had him on yesterday on the spaces I was doing that we shared here in the space. David Bailey, the founder of the Bitcoin conference, also in the ear of the Trump administration, also stacking in their own Bitcoin treasury fund. So I don't know what this is about, but it says huge news coming. What do we say? I don't know what this is going to be, but it's going to be interesting if we get some big news out of any of those 3 things that I just mentioned that he's very actively a part of. But this is great. Let's continue on. We got the SUI co-founder says 160 million in funds are frozen and will be returned to Cetus protocol. I got into a SUI trade earlier today, twice, catching when it dropped. I was feeling like that was just a silly FUD. Although there's some truth to the hack that happened. I got in just before this came out and got about a 60%. I don't even remember, about a 60% pump on that. Exited it out, got back in, got another, I think 17 or 18%. Just on a very quick, I'm talking, it was like 7 minutes I was in the 2 trades. But this, we're going to look at SUI today as well, because I do think SUI is a great protocol looking into this cycle. But we got to pay attention. These things can happen on any chain. Some have been more prone to others, but this is why you have to be a little bit careful when you're in the altcoin market sector. If you have all your eggs in one basket in that regard, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure, because it's still new technology. With Bitcoin, that's an all eggs in one basket thing that is actually, I think, a risk on or risk off setup. But this news has been all over the timeline. We also see, this is that chart I was telling you. Look at this, April 7th. I said VIX just went parabolic. Each yellow line marks the VIX peak. Boom, 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 boom. What do we see? This did not quite have the pump right after it, because then we also had the FTX collapse here, but this did result in upside. Here's another VIX peak. Massive move here from about 17,000 up to about, I think it was like 24,000, 25,000. We had another VIX peak here. This move down here. I mean, this is just an incredible move from this all the way up here, 100% move or so. Then we also saw a massive peak here. Look, each peak has gotten larger. And what did you see? This peak, pretty large move. This peak, larger move. This peak right here, even larger VIX peak. Are we about to get another larger move? Well, we've already gotten it from about 77,000 all the way up to over $110,000, $111,000 now. I called this. I showed what? I showed the data rather than the price. Reminder to look at the data to get the most out of the price. So many people are looking at the price. Is the price high, low? Should I buy? Well, use the price on any asset, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Cardano, whether it's Solana, whether it's NVIDIA. Look at the data in relationship to the price that you're seeing. And that's where you get your alpha, because the data suggested, on this case, the data suggested a parabolic Bitcoin move coming out of the Bitcoin bottom formation on April 7th. Bitcoin price was only $76,000, and now price is up over 110,000. I was looking at the VIX. We also know that at that same time period on the daily chart, we zoom in here, we saw this massive bullish divergence here with the price action lower and the rising level of RSI coming into this. At the same time, the VIX spiked. At the same time, this is bouncing on our previous range high. 3-4 incredible ingredients to feel more confident about a move to the upside. So what we're seeing right now is we're seeing this large bullish structure forming where this found the bottom. It broke out of this descending wedge, came up, sliced right through. This is an immediate sign of bullishness here. When this sliced through all of these range lows, that showed the bulls are in charge. And what have we seen since? It broke above, and it's like, okay, let's cool our jets. Let's put some water on the engine. Let's just make sure. And that's what you see with this little consolidation, accumulation, and then it just rips, boom, up to this next level. Previous range, all-time highs right in here. Just range just butting its head up against it. And then what do we see next? We see the price action breaks out, because it wasn't just butting its head up against all these levels. We also saw a bull flag structure in that. So in this bull flag structure, we see this move right here. Let's see how much of this played out. Here's this right here. Well, the target on this, look at that, about $117,000. And we're on our way there right now. That's the other chart that I showed you right here. Look at that. Another chart also measured, it's obviously the same asset, but $117,000. But you notice I have different charts set up with just slight variations on the way I'm looking at stuff, so I don't get just enamored and lost in one chart with one look, with one lens. I want to make sure I'm seeing things with slightly different viewpoints. I just want to also shout out a little pat on my own back. This box right here, I had outlined on this chart. When the price action pushed up in here and started doing this, I put this box here. I said, this is most likely, this is where I'm projecting we're going to get the breakout. Look at this, comes right down into it, chops through it, and launch right out of this target. So we've been pretty spot on here in the BitLab Academy. And furthermore, I hope you all can see, we're going to get to some more TA here in just a moment. Hope you all can see that this link up here, join this Discord. If you are a BitLab Academy member, drop an email to office@hitnetwork.com, a paying BitLab member on the Discord. Drop an email to office@hitnetwork.com with your Discord link. And then also make sure we're giving you, it's like a major, it's an overwhelming discount. Essentially, if you're already paying on BitLab Academy, you can now come over here and join this Discord. The link's right here. Just need to provide us your UID, your user ID for Discord, and then come down here and get involved. Sign up with this link right here. Provide us your L bank. It's free to sign up. you get access to all of the stuff that we have in the Discord for basically the same price you're paying in the current BitLab Discord. And this one actually has the benefit of having DZ, having Josh, having myself, having Drew, having TJ, having a number of professional shot callers in there as well, trade callers in there as well, portfolios, trade calls, live trading, morning sessions that we're doing almost every morning. Drew is traveling this morning. I had to drop my car off at the dealership, so we didn't do one this morning. But almost every morning, we're spending about 45 minutes or an hour in there. And so get active, get involved. This is, I'm telling you guys, make this happen. You're getting access to so much because we're sharing even some of the stuff I don't share on Twitter. We have stuff in there alpha all day long, every day. So just reminder there. Also shout out to our channel partners, Arculus, getarculus.com right here, getarculus.com. Use code BitLab20 for 20% off, BITLAB20. Protect your crypto, protect your future. And of course, Bitcoin IRA. Remember, you can sign up for Bitcoin IRA and save out of a $7,500 investment in altcoins right now. If you're going to trade those into Bitcoin, Chris Klein from Bitcoin IRA did a whole presentation on the Discover Crypto show using me as an example, putting in $7,500, trading those coins to my targets into Bitcoin, and then holding that as Bitcoin for 25 years. That would be a $3.5 million savings in taxes. So it's never too late and it's never too early. Head over to bitcoinira.com. The phone number's right there. Give them a call. And it's not like you're not going to have access to it. You can actively trade 75 different cryptocurrencies right there. So shout out to them. I'll be hanging out with Chris there in Vegas as well. We'll be doing some content together. Phenomenal guy. And also it's not just him. They got an entire team. This is a professionally accredited Roth IRA. You can roll over your 401k or your other Roth into this if you'd like to, but get that information from them right there at this phone number right here, 1-877-936-7175. That number is on their website. Let them know BitLab Academy sent you. Kelly sent you. But now let's get back in here because we got the signal, the setups here. We've got the breakout to the upside. We also see these are the targets. I have this on my page here at Kelly Kellam. I talked about this Megapump Gateway 110. We are in this gateway right now. We're trying to fight our way through the door. The next level up from here on here, these are larger targets, 164, 204, 242. But in the near term, we're looking at 117 next. About 115 to 118. So 117 is what we're looking for Bitcoin next on this move. If we get a small move to the downside, it's not the end of the world. Do not panic. Mind the gap, as they say in New York. Watch for, if you do get some pullbacks here, watch for buying opportunities, especially with the onslaught of liquidity that's coming into this market. Because the interesting thing from Willy Woo here says, I've never seen flows into Bitcoin coming in so smooth. It's like institutions are dollar cost averaging in with their billions. And remember, when these institutions are buying, when they're stacking, when governments are buying, when they're stacking, other than Germany, what a blunder that was. But when we see the US states, like Texas, which are about to come in, when we see the US government come in with their buying schedule, when we see sovereign, we're already seeing like the United Arab Emirates stacking billions of Bitcoin. But when we're seeing these major players come in, it's not going to be 100% the case, but the large, I'm talking probably 90% or more dominant mentality there is going to be to buy, not to trade, but to move in on a regular schedule. They're not looking at the 4-hour chart like you and I. They're not idiots like you and I. They're looking at 15, 20, 40-year allocations and how do we get stacked and continually put money in this market. Michael Saylor is a great example of what they're doing there. And we can see this on the chart here with the massive signals that are showing that it is predominantly institutions, corporations, big money players that are dominating this trend over the last, I would say probably year. But I mean, we can even see that over the last year, but even right here on April, look at this, January through April, boom, this nice move to the upside here, smooth. We've seen no retail. Isn't it super bearish that we're not seeing retail enter yet? No, it's the biggest misconception ever. The reason why it is absolutely overwhelmingly bullish that we're not seeing a large onslaught of retail yet is retail tends to flood in at the tops of an asset, especially with something like Bitcoin or even altcoins and any of these assets in the crypto ecosystem. We can see the data that smart money buys a long time ago, price much lower. Price gets exciting, starts moving up. Remember, smart money bought because of data and conviction. Dumb money, unfortunately, and I don't mean to say that rudely, but dumb money buys hope. They buy excitement. Well, it's only exciting after it's done something incredible. And so if retail's coming in to buy, and when we see retail moving in large folds, we see long-term holders depreciating or reducing in the total supply held. You see short-term holders increasing on orders of magnitude. Then you know you're starting to, more likely than not, come into a top formation. So the fact that we're not seeing a huge flood of retail right now is overwhelmingly bullish about where Bitcoin's going from here. So let's be stacking. Let's get in here on BitLab Academy on a daily basis. Hit that like button, subscribe, join us in our Discord, get active because there's so much to come in this market. And I think this cycle is going to be quite different. So shout out. By the way, if there are any new people here, big love to each and every one of you. By the way, my name's Kellam, and I'm here to bring you some love. I'm here to bring you data. I'm here to bring you the know-hows, the ins and outs, what data to look at, how to pull these different ingredients together to figure out what the is going on in this market. Because it's because it's so exciting. We forget to practice strategy. It's so exciting. We have a strategy and then the emotion of a moment makes us trade out of something right before it explodes. Or we're too bullishly biased and we don't have an exit strategy and we end up round tripping price all the way back down. So that's what I try to bring you here on a daily basis. And we have the most positive community here in the live chat. So big love to each and every one of you. So I'm going to go through and look at some of these as well. I see Moonwell listed here. I see Doge. I see Sui, Dog, a lot of dog coin people in here. So we're going to have to look at Dog because it broke out massively in the last 2 days. It just got, the listing on Kraken, which is phenomenal. What else do I see in here? We got Link. We got a bunch of stuff. I even see Dot. No, it's Dot Wook. Yeah, you say Sand and Dot. Man of Sand and Dot. Well, let's get through. Let's do some TA on a bunch of coins. And let me know what your thoughts are. I even see ETH and Sol. Well, shout out to each and every one of you. So coming on, what do we got? So much higher. Bitcoin tops when the green tops. We're still in the red. Look at this. Just like retail not being here, the data on the chart shows, look, was this anywhere near a top? No, look at this. Business cycle way down here. We're about to get a swing in business cycle. You know how I know that? Because we have the biggest evolution and revolution in technology and workforce advancement that we've ever seen right now getting deployed, and that is AI. We are about to see an explosion in the business cycle, especially as the trade wars with Trump and the tariffs, all that start to come in, the trade deals, and this pressure gets taken off the market. We're seeing money printing globally right now. We're seeing pressures on the bond markets. A lot of these areas, even though they don't want to print, it is an inevitability with fiat systems and the way our government money systems are run the world over. So the fact that this is down right here, the price is so high on Bitcoin, we realize looking at all the data, the price on Bitcoin and a lot of alts as well, but the price on Bitcoin is probably 90% discounted right now from where it could be and where it should be. That means right now, we are nowhere near the top and we need to make sure that we are stacking like our future depends on it because it does. My charge to you is to be a good ancestor. Stack now. So people in 30 years, 50 years, your grandchildren are like, Grandpa stacked Bitcoin. That's what this is about right now. And it's hard to see because we're so excited catching every little move, but let's get into it because this is what we're looking at. So what do the charts say about what's next? We are in May. Is it sell in May, walk away? Well, look at this. There's not much evidence that it's a sell in May, walk away scenario. Do you see it? I don't know where my mouse is. My mouse is lost. There it is. Okay. Green, red. Okay. Green, red, green, 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 red, green, green, green. There's not really clear signal at all that says sell in May and walk away. So let's not let that dominate our confusion. This is where we're at. We've retested. It's up only now. up only. This is also looking at weekly charts. We're going to have some dips along the way, but this is where we're at right here in this cycle, especially when you consider what's going on with the global monetary supply and the fact that whales have been stacking like we have never witnessed before in our life. Whale stacking. Long-term holders are the dominant holders in the market right now. Smart money coming in ways that we cannot even predict or fathom what the impact is going to be on this demand side of this market in the near future. And I don't think there's a single reason to be worried. In fact, we got a breaking news. Peter Schiff, guys, breaking news. Peter Schiff's entire 7-minute speech at the Bitcoin conference has been leaked. Apparently it says, "I'm sorry, I effed up. I'm going all in on Bitcoin now. Bitcoin is the only hard, scarce asset of the future." And because this was leaked, David Bailey also acknowledged that he's going to provide the remaining 6.5 minutes for applause and tight mouth head nods to Schiff. So because of this, David Bailey, I got to say this again so I can cut it. Because it was so quick, David Bailey, the founder of the Bitcoin conference, is going to provide an extra 6.5 minutes for applause and tight mouth head nods to Schiff, because you finally made it. It's not late, but man, you missed 15 years of incredible upside, because he was aware of Bitcoin back in 2013, 2012, all these sorts of things. So don't be like Peter Schiff in this regard. And of course, Dog, apparently posted by Matthew Hyland, Dog on Bitcoin is the most bullish alt currently in crypto, making another higher high against Bitcoin today. Clear uptrend forming, and we're going to look at that, and it's looking incredibly strong. It's been a major upside, so we're going to pull that up. And then, of course, we see great Solana news. Kraken to launch tokenized stocks for global users, talking about Apple, Tesla, NVIDIA. We also saw recently with those also trading on Injective, but Solana, Injective, ONDO, Chainlink, a lot of major news for integrations of tokenization on stocks and what's going on here. And here's ONDO. Of course, also I have the hiccups for some reason. ONDO Finance was just featured in the World Economic Forum's tokenization report. Crypto's everywhere now, guys. So Bitcoin, let's look at it. We talked about it already. We're going to come back to this to wrap the show with this. We are at 111,248, but let's look at the bigger picture. Altcoins, look at this right now. Massive reversal. We talked about this. I've been sharing charts on it on my Twitter at Kelly Kellam. Okay. And also on at Academy BitLab. And what we're seeing here is beautiful inverse head and shoulders, falling channel. So we had this breakout of the falling channel right here, the breakout here, retest back down, form this inverse head and shoulders. Because of this, then you also further substantiated this support level. And then look at this, to break back down to the support level and the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders. There's so much bullishness here. I can't even stand it, because not only did this fall back down to the support, horizontal support of the neckline and the rising support of these higher lows, we also have a falling wedge here that's broken out. So this is an index showing that the alts are trying. They're not even trying. They just are, by matter of fact, showing some strong bullishness. And we're seeing it in a lot of the charts. We also see this on the total 3 here, minus stable. So I subtracted the USDT Tether and Circle USDC. And we also see beautiful bull flag here. If this is the case, this suggests that we're going to see another boom. We're at 700 billion. This is showing, remember, this is everything minus Bitcoin and minus Ethereum. So everything minus Bitcoin, minus Ethereum, and minus stable coins, the top stable coins. This is showing we might be seeing another almost $200 billion coming into the alt market here in the very near future. When we look at the total, let's look at what this suggests, because this is also including Bitcoin, not including stable coins, Tether and Circle. But this is suggesting we're at 3 trillion, just the bull flag breakout right now on crypto as a whole. Subtracting stable coins, Tether and Circle, the bull flag breakout suggests that we're about to put in, we're at we were at $3 trillion. This target takes us up to right about $3.7 trillion. Now, what does this look like with stablecoins? Because it's going to blow your mind. Because I know a lot of you are looking at this going, well, this is a total market cap. This is also including stables. So what does it look like charted? Well, let's look and see. This is taking like this. Take the bull flagpole breakout. This would target us up at $3.84 trillion. This is, I mean, where we're going, guys, essentially new all-time highs for the total market. Now, aren't we at all-time highs for Bitcoin? Yes, but when you're looking at total, you're looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, stablecoins, everything on this list. You're looking at everything. And a lot of alts are still down quite largely. You go to Altcoin season index and look at this. Major players, Lido down 44%, Pith down 43%, Sonic, is it Sonic? Yeah, down 41%. All these coins still down massively. And this is just the last 90 days, right? So when we're looking at this and we come back over here to others, this is all these alts that took, the index showed about a 60% reduction in the altcoin market outside the top 10 alone. So that's why when you look at total and you see that total is soon to make an all-time high, this will be magnificent because it's going to mean that a lot of people are really stacking the profits. Matthew King, welcome to BitLab Tech. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate all of you that come in here and you subscribe here on the channel. You make sure this says subscribed. Also, if you're watching on Rumble, making sure this says following. Get in there. We launched this about a month ago. We have a partnership with Rumble, so they are pushing our content. We are featured content there. We're getting massive viewership there, by the way. You can see this. I mean, look at this. 16,000, 10,000, 14,000, 11,000, 23,000, 50,000. But when you guys are watching there, if you are on Rumble, make sure you are following as well. Hit that like button. We have the link for the Discord right there. We have more links for our other partnerships and everything, other links to join us right down here in the description. But if you're following us on YouTube, hit that join button. Once you're subscribed, hit that join button. It's about $1.25 a week. It's a cup of coffee a week. You get access and some of the things that we're doing in the Discord and some of the morning stuff and some of the private member stuff I'm going to be sharing to you here on the BitLab YouTube members. The charts that I share, I'm going to be pulling some of those out and we'll share those for you members. But just hit subscribe, hit that join button, get involved. You get the little the lab badge here. The longer you're a member, the more full it becomes. So you see Matthew King has got an empty beaker. He just joined, but it's soon, I'm sure he's going to fill up. It's going to be a full one. Then it's going to turn blue. And then some of you guys should be turning green here in a month or two when you get past that level. But we got some more charts to look at. So let's look at it. We got to look at ETH because ETH is breaking out, but it's also right at a roadblock. When we look at Ethereum, look at this beautiful bull flag structure. We have horizontal levels that we're watching here. We can also look at the more articulated chart here with a pretty major trend line that is multi-year. This goes back to 2022. A lot of support here. A lot of support here. We are literally right now trying to tackle it and not have it be resistant. So what does this look like on the 2-hour chart? Well, we did break above it, but we came back below it. Rejection, rejecting again. Also inverse head and shoulders here and now breaking out. But we're kind of in this box zone that I drew about a month ago. This area that was very high level of interest that was likely going to be chop zone. I did not make this up. If any of you all have been watching, let them know in the chat. I've been sharing this for a minute. When the price action was down here, I was talking, back in here, I was talking about, okay, when this breaks out, this is going to be I didn't draw this box since this is up here. This box has been here, and this is what we're seeing. We're seeing exactly what I expected. Now we have this descending broadening wedge. It's broken out, found support, pushed up. Beautiful. Looking spectacular. It's not quite ready yet, but we really want to see this break out of this zone. If we take it to a little bit larger time frame, let me scroll down and see the rest of oops, I got full screen, my bad. If you guys could see what I could see, there's so much. I have a screen here, screen over here, screen here, screen there, with windows all over the screen. It's a lot. It's a lot. So what was I talking? Oh, yeah. Okay. So we got, let's go to the daily actually. You see, we got a beautiful structure here. It's essentially kind of a bull flag. If this is a bull flag, and it's a very ugly bull flag, mind you, but if this is something similar to a bull flag, then the target out of this would likely be up here. Look at, I did not pre-plan this. I do my TA live with you guys here. I don't do TA when I go home. I do some in the morning with the members. But when I see this, look at this. This target out of this goes where? Right directly to a known level that we've already had outlined. Look at where that target is. The target right now on this recent move with the slight consolidation, if this does break out and we have that bullish continuation, the target for ETH on this move will be right back to challenge that $3,900, $4,000 level for Ethereum. So we just need to mind our P's and Q's. We need to be patient. Let the market develop. Let the buyers come in. Let the little swings happen and chop out the weak-handed little babies trading every emotional move. Take concise, strategic, concentrated moves that you see the setup for, and you jump in when your setup signals all cue that the time is to enter. And have your exit strategy if you're trading. If you're just buying to stack in, then we've had some great opportunities, and I hope you've taken some of them. But on this near-term move, look at this. This is a previous range here that we're watching. Right here. We're going to watch this at 2,800 next. The next level up is going to be all this chop here at 3,300. And then the target above that, which is this full target here, is going to be back at these previous range highs, right back in here, which is just shy of $4,000. Now, what do we see? ETH to Bitcoin also looks bullish with a nice, I won't call it a bull flag, but similar-ish structure. We can just be hyperbolic for a moment. The target out of that is, I mean, that's a 40% move against Bitcoin, meaning it will move 40% faster if this were to play out. But that's a bit hyperbolic because this isn't really a bull flag. It kind of is. You have a large move with a retracement here. Let's go to the 6 hour. Okay. You have a large move with a retracement. And the retracement itself is a falling broadening wedge. These falling patterns tend to break out bullish. Not only that, it's moving down, and now you found a bit of a base here with this sort of W pattern. And so this is the area that we're watching to cut through, which we've already challenged a few times, which is right in here. Once we can clear through this is the next target up I'm watching at 0.025. The next level up is 0.026. And then I think we can start really talking about some more movement. But this is starting to look like we might be actually getting that ETH reversal. Now, what do we got? ONDO. Saw somebody say ONDO. Look at this. Falling channel, falling, you can call it a wedge a bit, but falling channel really, it's going to be the same thing, except just doesn't have a terminal point. Found the bottom. We had a bullish divergence here, 2 flat levels of the RSI on the bottom right here. Option T gives you that, see lower lows on the price, flat level right here on the RSI, bullish divergence. What we do, we bounced out of this, found a little hiccup here, and then pushed up right into the zone right in here. Look at this. It's putting right into a zone that we've been watching for some time on ONDO. Previous range highs, previous bounces, rejection. So this is kind of an interesting zone. Once we clear this, I don't even see this being too big of a hurdle, $1.10. Once we push out of this, I mean, if I had to guess, we'd probably reject at it like this, find some support, and then make another pretty large move. But we're really watching this zone up in here, this $1.20 to $1.26. But as it stands right now, this is it's maintaining pretty strong bullishness as it stands. That does not mean, though, however, in the near term, especially going into the weekend, see how this is essentially this kind of rising wedge semi formation. Let's do option T. Say we got that kind of rising wedge like that. Wouldn't surprise me if this rolled over a little bit and found some support. I'd say 97 cents right in here, because we have see these lows, the chop right here, rejection, support, rejection. So this 97, 98 cents, if this rolls over, that actually would be a great steal. But I'm not convinced right now on markets taking those, because the markets, there's so much bullishness in the market. I'm just saying, be aware. Link, same thing. We're seeing these across the board. We're seeing these sort of rising wedges because there's been a lot of excitement. So with all the rising wedges, just be a little cautious now if we get some swings to the downside. What did I say yesterday too? Look, I typed this in while we were live yesterday when we were hosting that Spaces. Link breakout, which was this. Watch the level directly above and below, which is this line and this line. What happened? Boom, rejected, came back down, found support, rejected again. Literally, this called it perfectly. And I'm sure some people got wrecked in that move, not paying attention. But what we're seeing here, kind of a rising wedge. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a little bit of cooling. If Bitcoin just starts running 117, 130, then this rising wedge nonsense is just things are just going to run, right? But minus everything just running away, the chart itself shows that it's kind of pushing up into a level that it wants to have a bit of a retest, maybe 1634, 1646, somewhere in this range right here for Link. But I'm so bullish on Link. I saw some of you said Cardano as well. Same thing. Look, we got kind of this rising channel, rising wedge, whatever, but this is also forming into a bit of a bull flag. But it also, if we really zoom in on this, kind of looks like a diamond pattern. Now I look at it. What's a diamond pattern? You have this sort of price action like this, right? Expansion in the middle and then contraction, right? This. The problem with diamond patterns on assets is diamond patterns can be reversal patterns and they can also be continuation patterns. This pattern says, screw you if you want an exact directionality of what's coming out of this pattern. The pattern says, hey, I'm giving you the option. Whichever way the market moves, that's the direction we're going. So as it stands right now, what do we look to? If that's the case, just by the pattern. That's not the only thing we see. We also can see what? The strength, relative strength as it relates to what the price action is doing. What do we see? Much higher highs on a Cardano. What do we see on the strength? Almost lower lows. Bearish divergence on this. So we have a diamond pattern, which the pattern alone could go either direction, but we have bearish divergence coming into it. So this signals to me that there's probably a stronger likelihood that we get a little bit of a correction down. This would be the most bullish spot right here, 79 cents. If this falls further, then we're watching right in this zone right here, which is 77 cents. And look, we have all these tops that rejected at these levels. So that would be not a bad area to look. And then what else can we look at? Well, let's go from a fib, option F. If you're on PC, it's Alt F. If you're on Mac, it's option F. Just press it and then click on the chart. See, option F. I didn't do anything. Now I click on the chart, move my mouse, click again. It's an easy way to draw a fib rather than coming over to the toolbar. Again, if you're on PC, it's Alt F. Let me give you some more quick keys. Another one, option. When I say option on Mac, same thing for you, PC is Alt. So option J is a horizontal ray. Option H is a horizontal line all the way across. Option T, all these are Alt as well. So Alt T or option T. Then click, then move your mouse. You have a trend line. Option F, you have a fib. You can just drag it either direction if you want to fib up, fib retracement, or extension. Yeah, those are some quick ways to do some of those keys. You can go back and listen to this later again if you want to, if you missed some of those. But yeah, I'd be happy with Cardano coming back down and kind of testing this range a little bit. Algorand, man. Look at this sort of rising wedge, which is kind of weird because everything else is so bullish. And this still looks bullish, but we have this reversal pattern on Algorand. But it's, I'd be watching this zone here at the 25 cent mark. I wouldn't count this exact as this rising wedge. Rising wedges tend to break bearish. So I'm not thinking that if everything in the market is pushing up, this is just going to break down unless something else came. But we have to be aware that this rising wedge is there. But on just this time frame, looking at this coming down like this, we have the beautiful reversal pattern coming into a zone. If this had a little bit of a retracement back to 23 cents, this neckline, that wouldn't be so bad. Remember, we're going into a weekend, but we're also super hype coming in. We have a positive news going everywhere. Some of the bearishness might be ignored. I'm looking more bullishly than bearish. Okay, we got to talk about, let's see, there was it. Aerodrome. Nice, beautiful breakout on Aerodrome. reversal pattern, came right into a known zone that we had marked out. Breakout here, had a little bit of a retest back to the downside. This wants to be a bull flag, but it doesn't quite look fully ready. But this is chopping right in the zone. You see this zone with all this price action chopping here. If this can break free, I want to break free. That's right. If this can break free, this might be going up. I would look at this zone here. Why? Because we have rejection, support, chop zone, rejection. This would be that target I'd be looking at, 75 cents next target. But remember, if we do get some bearishness this weekend, it wouldn't surprise me to have a bit of a move into that 67 cent zone for Aerodrome. Stacks just became the largest liquidity layer on top of Bitcoin. And look at this beautiful price action chart. Of course, that's on the 1 hour chart. Look, beautiful. I mean, this is beautiful. Look at this. It's happened twice now. Downtrend, break of resistance, massive moonshot. Downtrend, break of resistance. The question is going to be, if it gets up here, is this going to do the same thing where it's just like breakdown up, breakdown a little higher, breakdown? It depends on the status of the market. But this is looking good. Came where? Right into the chop zone, right in here. If this rejects a little bit, the problem with this is it does look like it could move a little bit lower than some of the other ones in terms of percentage. Because you see, that would be, let me see, that would be, that's not too bad. It's about 6%. Not too bad, actually, at all. But this also looks like a bit of a bull flag. So what does it look like on the 1 hour? Option F, go to the top. Look at that, bounce beautiful on the 382. And look at that. That target I lined out from the price action is also perfectly in line with the golden fib, the golden pocket, 0.618, 0.65. So if this does reject here and come down, this is where really my target to stack a bit more, stack right here at 92, 92.4, this zone right here. But if this is able to hold this zone, maybe make a little bit larger of a bull flag, or just completely take this out, then my next target up is up here at $1.06. Morpho, man, let's get a little bit bigger view. Morpho. Okay, let's move this fib because it's just too many lines. Okay. All right, Morpho. Okay, beautiful reversal, great, but it's actually in some ways looking a little bit weak here. Kind of looks like it's tried to do an inverted head and shoulder, but we didn't get the shoulder here. Large impulse, smaller impulse, smaller impulse. It's kind of leaning over. This is kind of rounding. It's kind of rounding. You see that? What am I talking about? These tops are rounding over. The impulse, large impulse, smaller impulse, kind of smaller delayed impulse. The momentum is kind of weakening right now, but all these things can be changed in a matter of a major pump in the market. But just looking at the chart as it stands, it also makes sense that it's rolling over a little bit because it's coming into this level that we've had marked out, all these lows and this bounce and this rejection. If this is kind of softening into that as people are taking some profits, if we can achieve the move out of this and get the breakout, find some support, then we're really looking for that target up here at 268. But that's not going to be immediate. I mean, you see how long this has taken. So in the most immediate near term, let's go to the 1 hour. Okay, we have a bit of a falling channel. It's very, very ugly here. It kind of looks like an inverse head and shoulder here too. So let's do this. The more immediate term target would be like this. Measure that out. You have the, let me do the neckline right here. So let's move this neckline down to the neckline. Breakout target. Look, right into that zone that we that we had drawn. So right in the $2 range is 198. $2 is what we're looking at for the target of this potential pop pattern. Okay, it's time. We got to talk about the dog on Bitcoin. Some of you go, hey, Kelly, you're a paid shill. No, I'm not. Dog is no paid KOLs. I like dog. I like dogs. And I like the fact that dog on Bitcoin is every token is out. It was free, launched, fair, out to airdrop to people that were runes holders. Now there's a hell of a lot more people that own it. There's about over 100,000 wallets. And it just got listed on its first tier 1 exchange. Before dog even got listed on a tier 1 exchange, it reached right at about $1 billion market cap, had a pretty big sell-off. Well, it's because dog is dumb, right? It's stupid. No, it's because the entire market had a pullback. Look, from what we saw at the end of December to what we just saw right here. Look at this. Look at where this bottomed. Right on April 7th, the bottom of the market on Bitcoin, on alts, on everything, stocks. So it had nothing to do with dog being a bad coin. It had something to do with the liquidity coming out of markets, going into all the tariff and the trade confusion. But seeing that this dropping like this, and remember, dog is inscribed on Bitcoin, so it's another kind of playful form of Bitcoin. And what we're seeing here, look, we marked out these targets back here. We hit the first target. Let's look at this. Dog hit the first target, right? Look at this, little hesitation, rejection at it, and then we sliced right through, came right up to this next target. I've had these drawn here. It's already made from the low about, we can actually drive this up now. It's made a 416% gain from the low, 4X from the low. And now the next target up here is about 0.0062. And the next target up above that is back to the previous all-time high. And that is only, let's look at this. It's less than 100% move now. It's 92% move just to get to the previous all-time high. This is a very new coin. This coin came out back here in April of last year, June of last year. June. So we're coming up on that, and it's already coming back to that level, and now it's about to get access on tier 1 exchange, Kraken. And I think there's going to be a dog booth at the Bitcoin conference, so I will be there. But this is looking very good. There was a members spaces that Leonidas put on last night. Everybody was in there just hooting and hollering and being exciting. But I like to take some playful. I don't want to say gambles, but I have Bitcoin. I have altcoins. I have very specific portfolio this cycle. And one of those is I want to get involved with something that has positive community culture. And dog for me was that. So that's why I hold dog. I'm not paid. There are no paid shills. There's no paid anything with dog. They distributed all the tokens out to Runes holders, and it just has a ferociously awesome community. So that's why I got in, and I love dog. So, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up being a major proportion of my entire altcoin portfolio. I think it's going to be $1 billion market cap. I think dog is going to likely go into the 6, maybe even hit 10 billion. Beyond that, it's hard to predict, but it's a playful coin. Don't put your life savings in dog. Yes, I love dog, but that's not a smart allocation. If you want to have meaningful strides in this market, protect your wealth, Bitcoin focused. If you want to get some tangential plays in Ethereum and Chainlink and ONDO and Cardano and Morpho and Constellation DAG and SUI and XRP and all these different coins, do it. If you want to get exposure to a meme, in my opinion, the safest meme out there is dog on Bitcoin. And so you can, have playful, entry into that community as well. But before we do leave, I do want to look at SUI, because SUI obviously had that the hack on the liquidity provider, Cetus. But looking at this is actually looking quite good. We had the rising wedge breakdown, cool, just like the rising wedge suggested, came down into a level that we had marked out, pushed up, rejected, boom, and actual launch here. Nice bull flag here. If this is a bull flag, what is the target out of it? Because we've made some strides, but it's looking a little weak. Let me actually do this from where the breakout is. Boom. Target up here is up here at 632. But this is a bit broad right now because of what's going on with Cetus. I'd be a little cautious at the moment because of the FUD narrative. But look at where this is trading right now. Price action has been ranging where all of this price level is just a rejection, support. We're sitting right there in the zone. If this does test down a little bit lower, I'd be watching it down to about 347, 340, 347. If this loses, and we're going to, I don't mean like lose, but I just mean lose that level, then we could see this come back to 280. If there's something bigger at play with the hack and the exploits. But it seems like right now, as of right now, this moment, seems like they got it a little bit under control. But if we do get a little washout on the broader market and crypto in general, where things move down a little bit, I'd be watching to retest again down here to the 340, 330 level. If this is able to move up, the next stride I'm looking for is $5 right here, these previous range highs, and then ultimately the target up here and beyond. But guys, I'm so bullish. I'm feeling good. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Bitcoin conference is coming up this next week. I can't wait to see so many of you there. Some of you get to meet my girlfriend as well. That'll be exciting. But big love to each and every one of you. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Be grateful. Be courteous. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. I'm feeling good today. Adios. Do we have any super chats? I just want to make sure I didn't miss any. No super chats today. One new member. Big love to you, Matthew King. Adios.